Yo, what's going on, y'all? Markos Mosi here, owner of Fear Training LLC in San Leandro. Hey, I gotta show y'all a little something. Here's a quick little tour. Come check it out.
Genuine than with someone I knew since we were kids. It makes no sense. I'm losing faith in this generation. And patience ain't my thing. It wasn't in my genetics. I shut down my exes like back pages. Trying to count blue faces. My life is full of abrasions. I feel the pain, can I take it? It's like happiness is full of medication that I'm sick of taking. Oh, I'm sick of taking. And the smile I put on. Oh, I'm sick of faking. Oh, I'm sick of faking.
Cool. So first off, I'm gonna take y'all to my clothing right here. Check out my merch. This right here is my last drop. It's my varsity collection. If you ever looking to purchase anything, man, it's exclusive right here at Fear Training. So if you're looking at something and you like it, y'all know where to come by, man. Okay. So I kind of got the business idea, or the rose from the rose that grew from concrete, book by Tupac, and it's his book of poetry pretty much. During my time of figuring out which direction I'm gonna go in, that's like the book I was reading at the time. So it kind of just resonated with me, just talking about getting through a hard time and trying to make something beautiful out of nothing. And then also just kind of like seeing the beauty in a shitty situation. So as I was thinking of what my brand will kind of stand for, as far as like logo or anything like that, the word fear came in my mind just because I was like fearful of where I was at the time. So I'm like, fear in fitness kind of is like I guess the word is like oxymoron, because people already have a fear to work out or a fear to get into fitness. So I'm like, that would be kind of like the best situation. And then I thought of the acronym Face Everything and Rise.
What kind of equipment do you carry?
Oh man, what kind of equipment? All right, look. I'm gonna come show y'all. We got a full house for beginner friendly and even for the most advanced. Come check it out. All right, first spot I'm gonna take y'all to, man, is my peach zone. So what is the peach zone? This is where we go ahead with all the ladies and we get them glutes pumped up. So right here is the peach zone. So here we're fortunate enough where we got 2 platforms loaded up, each with their own power cage and loaded up with their own barbells as well. Here's where we handle majority of our compound movements, and this is where we really get to it.
Yo guys, what's up? My name is Jenny Martin. Today I'm out here lifting weights for Markos, man. Fear Training, you know how we do it. Let's go.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Fifth set. Best set. There we go. Easy work. Yeah.
Okay, I want to ask you about the rose. I see a rose on a lot of your clothing. So what does that mean? We got roses right here. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. So what does that mean to you specifically? And then why did you add it to your business?
Yeah, for sure. So again, referencing the book of Tupac, The Rose That Grew from Concrete. Again, I was going through that hard struggle. I was going through that hard time pivoting, figuring out myself. And again, reading that book, I see the rose is kind of like that light at the end of the tunnel, right? So I figure fear rising above, just like the rose had to rise above the concrete, right? So I was like, you know what? There's no other fitness related business that I know that has a rose with it. And so I'm like, you know what? Why not put the two together? Something that's a struggle such as fitness and bringing it together with something as beautiful as a rose. And I'm like, well, here you go. Now we got Fear Training and the rose as the logo.
Do you think the color of a rose has anything to do with your decision to add it as well?
Not necessarily. My color schemes are pretty simple as far as just black, red, white. So I just felt like that was just a nice pop again. Again, just seeing the word fear in general, people's first instinct is to be scared. But then you see fear and then the rose, you're like, all right, well, let me take a second look at it, right? So at least that was how I came about it, and that's how I looked at it myself. So I felt like if I seen fear with a rose in that perception, I figured that maybe it would strike other people's attention as well.
No, that's what's up. Do you have any rose tattoos on you?
Not yet. So I am going to get my brand tatted on me, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. Man, I got your brand
tatted. He got it before I did.
Everywhere, man. No, that's what's up, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. We got a bunch of bars here, ranging from safety bars to Swiss bars, and a bunch of plates, weight plates. It's going to be more than enough weight than you'll need. Fully loaded cable machine for all the functional movements. Oh yeah. It's shirt off season. There we go. Here we're going to have our cardio equipment and all the necessary attachments that you'll be needing. Here's our turf area. So here we focus a lot on functional movements as well as weight loss. So here we have a lot of space where we can go ahead and run around, get our clients enough room to where we can go ahead and perform any movement that we really want to. You know we gotta have the fully loaded mirrors. You gotta look at yourself. You wanna look good, you gotta be able to see yourself, right? And this really is a dope upgrade that I had here at the gym, and everybody's loving it. All right, man, so how I'm gonna end this Friday workout with him is that I told him he can choose a workout for me to do as we finish. And of course, he chooses squats. So I'm about to bust out these squats. Men, hit legs, please. Let's go ahead and bust out these squats, man. Let's go. As you're squatting, please do not squat with like the cushiony shoes like I'm wearing right now. And the reason is because you want your feet to be really balanced on the ground. So I'm not gonna get in coach mode too much, but there you go, that's one thing. And number two, and last point, make sure that your toes are pointed a little outwards, and so are your knees. So let me show you, just like this. And make sure we get in that ass.
Top down.
To the
Pop it. The whole gym got us.
full squats. Full squats on.
All right, so tell me a little bit about this vending machine. You said you purchased it. I think it's a great ad. It's a fresh vending machine, but it also adds to the revenue. So how much did you purchase?
Yeah, so I purchased the vending machine now for $4,000. And before I had products that I had here, but it was really hard to manage it. You know, people coming up to me like, hey, can I get a drink? Hey, can I get a snack?
Yeah.
It was just, you know, trying to do a training session and then have people come and asking is just hard to monitor that, right? So this was like the best way. I knew I needed to make this investment. Just like you go to any gym, you need a drink. You got it right here. So it's fully loaded up with all the snacks and drinks that you could possibly want. I got some unhealthy ones as well because look, sometimes you just want a snack and that's it. So, but I got some regular chips. I got your protein bars, protein drinks, Gatorades, water, Fiji, coconut. We got it all here. And I got all your pre-workouts. And also, since Fear let the kids and my clients bring their kids in, we also got kids juices here at the bottom to keep the kids quiet.
That's what's up, man. No, this is really cool. How many times do you have to change this out?
So I fill this, I probably fill it now maybe like once every 2 weeks, and I clean it every week.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. If you can guess how much revenue it kind of brings you.
So right now, it's actually been, since we've been having a lot more traffic, it's actually been bringing me a lot more revenue. So I'm averaging now about 100 to 120 a week.
Oh shit!
Yeah. It's actually, it's not bad.
Yeah, and you're that's you're not doing shit. So the drinks and everything though, like you probably go to Costco and get them or something. Yeah.
So I get them wholesale, and then I do market price. So whatever you get at the 7-Eleven, you go to your regular gym and get it. I'm actually cheaper than most gyms that you go ahead and get a single drink. So I'm price my products around what 7-Eleven would, or like your local convenience store would.
That's really cool. So if you own a business, brick and mortar store, it's a great idea to get a vending machine because this is just like money that comes into your pocket. This can pay, this can help you save up for emergency expenses. Speaking of emergency expenses, what has broken here that you were like, holy shit, and it had to come out of pocket?
Man, let's see. God's grace, nothing so far.
Hey, knock on some glass to save your ass.
By God's grace, nothing has like severely broken to where I'm like, oh man, like I'm out of luck or I'm out a couple of bands. So nothing has been seriously broken as of right now.
That's good.
But yeah, man.
Where would you say most of your money kind of bleeds in this industry, in this business? Where would you say?
The equipment. Yeah, it's definitely that initial like startup as far as like getting all your equipment, obviously fixing up the place, making it aesthetically pleasing for your clientele, getting like the flooring done or whatever needs to be done paint wise, just because I personally didn't walk into this building with it all being done up, so I had to do a lot of that work, me and my family. So it took a little bit more bleeding than other situations. Some people kind of just walk into it and they just operate, whereas I kind of had to build everything up. So right now, since I have a lot of the equipment that I'm kind of like done with for majority of it, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily bleeding as much anymore, but I would definitely say the software is just to keep everything running.
Sure.
Training software, gym software, and whatever other accounting softwares as well. I would say those are probably like where the money bleeds the most on a month-to-month basis.
Do you have a Google business page, a Yelp page, and all of that?
Yeah. So I am on Google Business. You can find me at Fear Trading LLC. You can go ahead and just search that up. It'll pop up. As well as a Yelp page. I think that should be up and live as well. So go ahead and hit that positive review. And if you haven't been here, don't worry, it's 5 stars.
I love it. Okay, when starting a business, did you were you, a lot of people when they come to me for business consultation, like they freak out like, oh man, like to start the notary business or real estate, I need an LLC. That's what TikTok told me, right? Like, was that a concern for you in the beginning?
For me, not necessarily, but again, I think my situation is just a little different because my back was so against the wall. I had to think like this, right?
Survival mode.
So yeah, it was just survival mode. So for me, I did kind of fall into that. Okay, I need an LLC. Okay, I need this, but it was more into that. So just rather than getting the LLC, I was like, I'm gonna get the LLC, and in 2-3 weeks, I need to have X or I need to have this.
Okay.
So
that's good.
I did kind of rush into the process of getting that LLC just because the mentorship program I was in at the time and I was following kind of went in that order.
Yeah.
So I kind of followed that order that it went into.
No, that's what's up, and I appreciate that honesty. So you started the LLC, got the business. How was kind of like business funding? Like, did you apply for business credit cards? Were you just literally starting this business from your savings?
It's my savings, man. So when I tell you I read, like waking up minus 500 or waking up with a quarter in my account and I have a bill due. It was that type of situation. I'm fortunate enough to where I still live with my parents, so I don't have to really worry about housing, rent like that or anything. And my parents were a big help in this situation as well. So didn't really have to take any bank loans or outside loans.
That's good.
I came to my parents with this business idea. I told them, I gave them a timeline as to when I think I could be successful in it and it could be profitable.
What was the timeline?
5 years.
Oh, that's nice.
I am on year 2. So I count my backyard, but kind of the backyard is like that building process. So I count really the time that I've been here.
The backyard is like selling CDs out of the trunk.
Yeah, exactly. So you're doing something, but it's like, you just getting your name out there. So I gave myself 5 years and I'm on year 2 right now. So I think for year 2, I'm not too bad.
Yeah. What other additional kind of possibilities do you see with this building itself? Like, I see a really cool looking venue when I walk in here. It feels cozy, it feels good. You got roses everywhere.
Yeah.
It's pleasing to both the ladies, the men, and also the children. So like,
for sure.
Do you see yourself maybe possibly renting this venue out on Peer Space or to corporate events and throwing events here?
Yeah, definitely. So that's kind of like the direction I want to go into next is now that I've finalized with the aesthetic of it and just, it looks like it's a great place now from the second you walk in. I do want to offer it to real estate agents or those that are holding meetings or whatever the case is. I don't care about what profession it is, but this is a great space to where you can hold a meeting, do a seminar, host a master class. You have everything accessible to you as well as comfortable seating. You have a TV that you're able to airplay anything that your presentations or anything that you need. And you have plenty of seating. So if you even have 10, 20 people, you're able to hold that in this room.
Yeah, no, that's facts. What's one business mistake you made this past week?
One business mistake I've made this past week is not focusing on my content or trying to get any more clientele. I was in a situation where I was tired this week, coming back from a trip. So I've been just trying to get organized and get the ball rolling. So I haven't really been focusing on my side of the business as far as like growing myself. My main focus has literally just been as organizing the business and trying to take care of everything else on the outside.
That's the thing with entrepreneurship, and I'm not going to say it's not with W-2 workers or salary work or 1099, right? But with entrepreneurship, when you own your business, it's like, damn, when do you find the time to take like a mental break, right? Yeah. Like 9 to 5, I'm clocked out at 5.
Yeah,
my mental break, if I don't want to do anything ever, I don't want to go hang out with friends, I don't want to do any of that, I can clock out. But for us, it's like, well, damn, what if a client calls at 6 p.m. and that's a $300 training?
Gotta answer it.
Do I put my mental health over the $300 when I know I'm bleeding, right? These type of situations we go through every day, and it's hard, right?
Yeah.
And so where do you kind of find balance? Do you have like a hard cutoff?
I do now. So we're starting, I would say last year when I first opened up the building into, let's say like 3 months ago is when I started really like, hey, I need to tone it down. I was just balls to the wall, right? Hardcore, like, yo, no breaks, no days off. On top of myself taking care of my own training too. So now I do have a hard cutoff, and I just learned, right? I learned what it felt to be taxed out. I got to the point of like, yo, I slept for 12, 14 hours. I couldn't do anything besides be in my drawers all day. And I couldn't even walk my dog just because I reached such fatigue, mental and physical, that I was like, okay, I guess this is burnt out. So let me just take it down one step, or let me just focus one less day on training, or let me just focus one less day on business, whatever the case is, and started gauging like what's my comfort zone, what's my push zone, and then when I'm starting to get taxed out. So
that's 100%.
Just like everything else is just trial and error.
Yeah. I want to make sure you guys are following, so I want to make sure this thing is on. Can you guys hear me? I just want to make sure, because he's dropping some great bombs right here, and you can't find this stuff on social media, like the transparency, I can make $1,000 opening a gym. My gym makes $1 million, but you have $3 million in debt. Like, you can't find this type of information, and you only can find it on the Misguided. So I want to make sure you guys are following.
And instead of just kind of dragging my star, I was like, you know what, I gotta rise above this. Just like the rose. And I was like, oh damn, just like the rose, rise. I'm like, there we go.
That's like shower thoughts right there.
Yeah. I was like, I don't see no fitness that uses a rose as a logo. It's like, it's always something hardcore or anything like that. I'm like, that's not what I'm going for. So that was like the rose was perfect logo.
All right, man, I'd love to kind of learn about the process in acquiring this business. And you didn't acquire it, but you acquired the building and started the business. So how is that financially? That's obviously a strain. As an EMT, I'm not counting your pockets, but I know it's not tech money, right? So kind of what was your process in negotiating a lease with the landlord here, and how much did it cost you?
Yeah, so for the lease, I'm paying $37,000 in total. So with utilities and everything, let's just say it's about $4,000 monthly. So obviously starting out, that was hefty on my pocket. So what really helped out, like I said, is that I already had a client base with me. So it was kind of an easy transition there. So I wasn't like starting from complete scratch, but building it up, obviously the first couple of months was definitely tough, right? I'm digging in my own pockets, as well as getting in the red a little bit as well. So it is a financial strain just because I bought all my own equipment, and I wanted to make sure that when you step in the doors, you're in a prominent place. So I kind of went a little, not overboard, but I kind of focused on buying high-end equipment, as well as making sure that it looked good when you got in here, right? So as far as the lease, it's about $4K after utilities and everything. And how I am sustaining that as well is just with my clientele base, as well as having trainers that are working in here as well.
Nice. Let's talk about your clientele base. Yeah. How many customers, and obviously this can be an estimate, do you currently have? Yeah,
so I have about 35 clients that I see in person, and then I also have 10 clients that I coach online as well. I have 4 trainers that are working here currently, as well as myself. I'm here full time. So it's moving, it's steady growing, and it's doing pretty good for sure.
Let's talk about your packages. Do you offer any type of, obviously each person, there's a program geared towards them, right?
Yeah.
No one can train the same. So what packages do you offer? Do you, a client comes in here, do they try and lowball you at some point? Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I mean, I tell them straight up, you're not going to come here and and then think it's Planet Fitness, right? Like I didn't build this business up to be cheap. So I am on the higher side, but you get what you pay for. Just like you go anywhere else, if you want a high-end product or a high-end service, you got to pay for it, right? So, but I'm not saying I'm here to break your pocket. So I do offer packages, whether they're, the packages are ranging for, depending on how many sessions you want per month. I also do drop-in sessions, and something cool that's happening here at the facilities that I'm offering group classes as well starting next month that will be taught by myself as well as all the other trainers here. So if you're somebody that can't really afford the membership package as far as the personal training, but you still want to see what we're about here at Fear, next week you'll have that opportunity by joining one of our group classes, where it's only going to be a $25 drop-in session, or you can do an unlimited membership for our group classes, which will be $250 for the entire month.
Okay, so is that the only kind of packages you have? You said you're on the high end, so
Yeah.
$250 would be your.
So that would just be for the group classes. So for my lowest package starts at $700, and that would be for the 8 sessions. My 10 sessions goes to $900, and then if you want 12 sessions in the month, that's going to be $1,080.
And how'd you come up with those packages? Like, was there a formula involved, or was it, this is how much I'm going to be paid for my time?
Yeah, so how I came about those numbers is definitely, I didn't just, boom, I'm just charging this rate. I definitely built myself up, and then that's also by having the social proof behind the work that I do, and that's how I got it as far as developing the building itself, and then also comparing prices of personal trainers that are at commercial gyms, other private trainers as well, and then kind of comparing them and seeing like what the market is. So I'm definitely not top market level, but I'm also not at the bottom. So I'm definitely middle tier, but if you want to go look at the average, I'm still below the average per hour rate for a personal trainer.
Okay, great. So you got $4,000 in rent after utilities and everything. How long was your lease?
So I signed my first year was a 1-year lease, just the 12 months, and then after that I signed for 2 years. So that's this year, and then as well as next year. And
how long did it take you to kind of break even once you first opened up? That first year, how many months did you bleed?
For a while, still bleeding. So we still haven't healed the wound up completely, but we're on the verge. I'm going to be on the verge of breaking even this year, and then start having profit next year, which, if you've already seen through the tour, if you take a look, the equipment isn't cheap, what I have. So for me to kind of work my way up to profit in under 3 years is a great accomplishment that I take pride in. So I'm really excited to kind of see where that goes.
Would you have done anything differently in the beginning in like acquiring this lease, or maybe going cheaper on the product, or maybe doing more marketing before opening the spot?
Honestly, I was in such a bind to where I had to think really quick. I didn't really have a lot of time to sit there and weigh my options out. So it was definitely like, hey, if we're going to do this, we are going to do it, and we're going to learn along the way. So there's definitely things that I've spent money on that I did not need, and there's things that I should have spent money on that are no longer available. So it's definitely a process that you learn as you go. Again, I have very little knowledge as to 1, how to run a business, 2, how to open a gym, 3, what it takes to keep it going. So this whole process for me, and till today, I woke up this morning, I learned something new. So till today, it's just been a learning process to get here.
Yeah, and how important is mentorship? Like, did you reach out to people? Did you reach out to other gym owners to ask them questions?
So my first mentorship program was during COVID, and this was a guy that was based out in Texas, and I just kind of seen him. He was just posting a lot of content that he was working with women, and I was like, you know what, this is kind of like where I wanted to tier my focus into, and kind of not just necessarily just work with women, but just how he was building his own personal training brand. So I got involved with his mentorship, and it was just an online pre-recorded mentorship program. And that was kind of like my eye-opener to what personal training is. I got to learn about the softwares. I got to learn about how to even build the business. How do I reach clients? How do you even, if you want to work with women, how do you even approach women that to work with, right? Without looking creepy, or without just chasing the ass, I would say, for lack of better terms, but actually looking for good clientele that you can actually work with to make a difference in their life. So mentorship has definitely been important, but I'm still very early in knowing how important it is. So I'm looking into getting another mentor here very soon, actually. So I'm actually starting to just now learn the importance of mentorship. So for those that are thinking like, man, they see mentorships cost from anywhere 5 to 10, 20,000. I'll tell you like this: if there is a way that you can work or negotiate the price to where you can make payments, I would tell you to 1000% invest in mentors. Reason being is because you know what you know, and you only have a limited time to get to where you want to get to. So if you don't know what you only know so much information, and if you are looking up at this person that has everything you want and you have a way to access them, you're just shortening that bridge of knowledge. So that's how I want everyone to start thinking about it, because that's how I had to start learning to think about mentorship. You're just closing the bridge for you to know more information. So I definitely think mentorship's 100% worth it. But at the end of the day, you still have to apply the pressure and put in that work.
Absolutely, absolutely. How many streams of incomes do you have within the business itself?
So I have the personal training side, group classes, the mentorship side that I do with my other trainers, my own. I have a vending machine as well, which I purchased for the gym. So I have 4 streams of income, 4 to 5 streams of income, and my merch. So I have 5 streams of income in my one business. 5 to 6 incomes, 6 streams of income, because I do also have products as well. So 6 streams of income.
What products?
So y'all stay tuned, because next week I'm dropping these booty bands, as well as I'm gonna have some laser engraved water bottles that will be coming out, and some dope collectible items, as well as I got my new merch collection that will be dropping out as well, which is called From the Concrete. So you guys stay tuned for that. I will be having a pop-up at the end of this month where you're going to be able to come in, enjoy some live music with a DJ, get some good food, as well as check out all these products in this release party. So y'all stay tuned. It's going to be on a Saturday at the end of this month. From the Concrete pop-up, you're going to be able to come in, check out the facility, as well as get your hands on a lot of this merch.
That's such a really dope name, From the Concrete.
From the Concrete, yep.
I actually love that. You got to patent that.
Appreciate it.
Yo, this is the Misguided Podcast. We intend to guide you to a better future. I'm sitting here with Markos Mosi of Fear Training out here in San Leandro. I'm excited to talk to you today, man.
Yes, sir, man. I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate you having me on.
I appreciate you giving us the tour back there. It was a really cool spot. How long have you had it?
2 years now, man. 2 years. Yep, this is going my 2nd year right now, actually.
How's kind of like the process been? I mean, you started during COVID, right?
Yeah, I started during COVID, man. I was training outside, just trying to get my workouts in, and then I figured, I was like, you know what? Instead of me, how am I going to make this a little more fun, make it a little more entertaining? I was like, well, let me just start getting people along for the ride and seeing if they would be interested. I was just doing that by just posting that I was out there, and a lot of people just started getting intrigued and wanted to come check it out. I mean, they weren't working out anyway, so they're like, hey, why not come check it out? And kind of one thing just started leading to another. More people started showing up, and then we went from there. I was fortunate enough, I had some space in my backyard, and I was like, well, look, this can actually look like it's turning into something. I got some space. Figure I'd turn my backyard into a gym, so we started the cleaning up process. I had some money saved aside, and I was like, you know what, if this is going to happen, I'm like, let me just start looking and researching some equipment, seeing how much it would even cost, because I had no idea. And then just started getting little by little. How
do you get clients to come to your backyard? Like,
especially during COVID, right? Especially during COVID. Honestly, I think it's just because there was nowhere else. I mean, like I said, I set up a squat rack, had the barbells, got a couple of weight plates, which at that time was not like, it wasn't accessible anywhere, right? All the gyms were shut down. So if I'm the only spot that has it, and people can get their routine back, they're like, well,
I'm for sure going.
Why not? So I mean, I did my due diligence by trying to maintain the same COVID restrictions. Obviously, if people were comfortable, or I asked them to, if you don't have to wear a mask, but if you're comfortable or uncomfortable, you could put your mask on. I made sure I had sanitizing stations everywhere. Took care of my wife, so I definitely did my due diligence to stay safe. And then we just kind of went about it. I'm like, the opportunity was there, so why not?
That's what's up. So, like, you never had aspirations of owning a gym?
Nah, not at all. So,
let's talk about that. What was your aspirations as a kid?
Yeah, so my aspirations as a kid, I knew that I just wanted to make money. First of all, that's definitely what I wanted to do. Was I wanted to make money, and not so just like, hey, I want to flex and have money just so I could flex. It was mainly definitely. I wanted to help my parents out. So I was originally born in Greece. Me and my family, we moved here in 2001.
How old were you?
I was 6 years old at the time. So
You speak any? You forgot?
Look, I did. I was trilingual. Trilingual, I know it's terrible, y'all.
What was the other one?
So I was fluent in English, Dutch, and Greek.
Dutch?
Yeah, Dutch. So moved to the States. I had an accent. Got made fun of just a little bit once I first started moving here. So my parents kind of voided away from speaking our traditional languages at home. We obviously, as a family, regret that decision now. But it's all good. I do hope at some point I could pick those languages back up. I'm planning on visiting Greece next year.
Okay.
So maybe being back in my roots, I start picking up a little bit and can come back to the States with a little bit of something. So,
so aspirations to make money.
Yeah, aspirations.
I know you played football. Obviously, you can see my arms compared to his arms. I'm going to trust his opinion in the gym, right? But, did you have aspirations to maybe, be a tight end for NFL?
Nah. So even, in Europe or in Greece, in Europe in general, American football is not really the norm, right?
Rugby?
So rugby, it was more so. So my aspiration was I really was interested in being a firefighter.
Okay.
So I definitely wanted to do something in public service. As I was going through, getting older and realizing like, hey, there's something called corporate America, you sit behind the desk type of lifestyle. So I went to college for business
Okay.
with the aspiration to kind of get into that corporate America role. As I graduated, I was like, this kind of not for me right now. It's not really working out.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of changed directions. Had a good buddy of mine who works at the fire department. And he's like, look, if you go down this route, it's a great opportunity. It's a great career. At least try it out. What do you have to lose? So I went ahead and tried it out. And I started working as an EMT. And then during that time, COVID struck when I was about almost a year in. So COVID struck at that time, which, as you know, kind of slowed up the whole process as far as trying to move up into becoming a firefighter. So slowed that whole process up, and I had to consider my timeline. Do I kind of wait this out, which is the unknown as far as COVID? Do I wait that out and see how long it could possibly take?
Did they just while you're being an EMT, did they let go of people? Why was it slow for you to move up? Were they not hiring at the next level?
Yeah,
so
they weren't
just be an EMT.
Yeah, I would just be an EMT for X amount of time until this blew over, and then the next level was to go over to the 911 unit and do that. But I started considering my time, how much time I'm giving up versus how much I'm making. And I'm like, it's a dangerous career, right? You're right front and center in pretty unfortunate situations a lot of the time. So I had to really consider, is it really worth me going to that next level to make pretty much exactly what I'm making now, and then still kind of wait out before I move to that next level, or do I kind of figure out and pivot and kind of see what else, where else could I?
Let's talk about the mind shift, because going from a 9 to 5, EMT is more than 9 to 5, but going from that mentality to now you just fucking own a gym. That has to be a shift, or did you already have that kind of entrepreneurial spirit?
Nah. I'm the first entrepreneur in my family. I'm the first one to actually own and operate their own business. So definitely the tradition was, go to college, get a well-paying job, and I followed that path until, COVID, and I made that shift change. So for me, how I kind of got into the game was I realized I'm like, okay, well, the value that I have right now where it lacks is that I know fitness. Playing football, being in multiple strength and conditioning programs, I know how to coordinate a program. I know how to coordinate a workout. So I used that as my skill at that time, where there was a skill that lacked, right? People didn't know what to do without the gym.
Yeah.
So kind of pivoting that and started seeing some success in that, I was like, well, let me learn what a personal trainer even is, because my idea of a personal trainer or the fitness space was you go to your 24-hour fitness or you go to your commercial gym, you see the guys or women in the trainer shirts. I thought that was it, right? I didn't know private training. I didn't know that you can even go as big as owning your own gym or whatever the case is. So, man, I literally researched everything. Just me and Google were having conversations. Me and Google were having conversations. How do you go about owning a gym?
YouTube too,
YouTube. Looking at fitness experts in the game at that time, what they were doing. I'm like, okay, well, man, COVID just started. How do you have $1 million in your own gym? And I'm like, how do you, So I started looking into how these people were doing it, and just researching what would I have to do? What's the next steps for me? Is it just buying the building, or is it developing a brand? Do I need to come up with a name? But it's from the very beginning, is building that relationship with people.
What was the first mistake you made
First mistake I made as the like
owner.
after opening.
Yeah. That
thinking-
like hurts right now.
Yeah, thinking it was easy. Thinking it was easy, man. I mean, you think like, you know, you open the doors, people are just flooding through, and that's it. Like, you know, you did the job, but there's a lot more that goes into it, man. Obviously, I'm not just a trainer or just having my doors open for people to come in. I'm going into the lane of actually developing a full brand in the fitness space, a brand new brand, which is my brand, Fear Training. So I'm going about it in a whole different state of mind versus just like, oh, like let me just build up my clientele and see how far I can go.
Yeah.
It's let me build up my clientele and let me build up the name Fear Training behind me as well with it.
Let's talk about Fear Training.
Yeah.
Where does Fear Training come from? That's a good.
Yeah, man. So during my time of kind of struggle figuring out which direction I wanted to go into, I came across this book, The Rose That Grew from Concrete by Tupac. And that was kind of like I guess you would say like my nightly read during the time, and my morning, just waking up, flipping a couple pages. It's a book of poems, so it's not a very hard read. But during that time, it kind of got me thinking that there's a positive light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, I was definitely in a dark zone, which like not wanting to be disappointing to myself or family. So reading that book and seeing like little quotes of that you could create something beautiful from nothing. Like there's a rose that grew from concrete, and he's symbolizing that, you know, it's just
You could come from anything.
You could come from anything. The impossible is possible, but you just have to believe. Nobody believes that the rose that can grow from concrete.
Yeah.
But the one person that did got to see it, right?
Every time I think of that quote, I think of like driveways where, you know, how they have the lines that, and then there's like fucking weeds that just grow right between it. It's like that dirt wasn't there before. That dirt just got there. It started to rain. There's still concrete, and like the flowers grew.
Exactly.
Right. And then every once in a while, you got to go and chop that thing. Right.
Yeah.
Being a business owner is very like similar to that, because you always feel like you're being chopped. Right. Like opening this business, you're like at a cul-de-sac of industrial businesses.
Yeah.
Right. A gym in the middle of industrial businesses, you probably got carpeting, hardwood, right? It's kind of like a weird location, right?
For sure.
So it's like everyone's just trying to chop you down, right? It's not like people walk by and be like, oh, what's Fear Training?
For sure.
It's like they have to know it's here, right? So that's also probably a struggle, is location, right?
That is a struggle in a sense, but fortunate I built the brand well enough during COVID to where I had a standard-based clientele, so as soon as I opened the door, people were already anticipating that.
Got it.
But just in general, just to go back to how do you even get clients in the door?
Well, let's talk about the Fear Training. What does it stand for, the acronym?
Yeah, so the acronym is actually Face Everything and Rise, which goes hand in hand with the rose that grew from concrete. And the reason why my logo is a rose as well, you got to rise above your struggles, man. There's dark times. You're going to face dark times, whether you're broke or whether you're ultra rich. You're going to face those dark times. And you have the option to lay there and deal with it and lay in your sorrow, or you have the opportunity to go ahead and figure out a way that you can rise above the situation. And more times than none, there's always a solution. You just have to be willing to go ahead and find that. Yes, sir. For sure.
I love that. But yeah, let's talk about the opening the doors. You know, it is a unique location. How long did it take you to actually find a location?
So finding the location was tough. As we know, like the East Bay, for those that don't know, the East Bay region is not really a huge fitness culture as like, you know, LA or like Texas, for instance, or Florida. They have a huge fitness culture, whereas the East Bay is not really known for that.
We're a taco truck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have more taco trucks than we have gyms. So I'm here trying to shift that culture and trying to make fitness prominent in this area. So the location actually works great, believe it or not. Even though I'm around a lot of industrial, I'm pretty local to my market base, which it's pretty hard to find that type of location, because a lot of property managers and a lot of corporations, they won't even let you, they won't even give you their building or let you rent it out, knowing that you're a fitness business for whatever reasons they may have. So I was really lucky that this spot before was a gym already. And I just pretty much had to come in here and redo everything, but it was kind of like an easy like handover for the owner. So I was really lucky with this location, and it so far has been shown to be really dope for all my clientele. It's easy to get to for them.
I love it. I kind of want to know, do you like invest in other things outside of business? Being a business owner can take up a lot of time and it gets stressful and kind of tunnel vision, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Do you put your money elsewhere?
Yeah, so I'm actually, I do have a couple rental properties out in Texas where I do short-term rentals with. So I started dipping into that. And I would say right now, that's kind of like my venture outside of my current business. And that's kind of me building up my business portfolio. So I am in the B&B game and I intend to continue that as well.
Nice. And what about stocks or anything crypto is a big thing? Do you invest in anything like that?
So personally for myself, I'm real big on investing in actual assets. No, you know, for anybody that does do the crypto or stocks, I mean, you know, I know very successful people in that. That's their lane and keep doing it. For myself personally, I definitely always wanted to invest in more physical assets. So that's kind of been my play.
Before we wrap up, one of the questions I like to ask every business owner is, if you were to write a letter to your 18-year-old self, what would a summary of that letter be?
If I could write a letter to my 18-year-old self, your life isn't going to be what you think is going to be right now, but stop worrying what it's going to be in 10 years or 20 years. Focus on your present, and if you do overcome or if you do approach a struggle, just find a solution. There's always a solution. Don't beat yourself up. Most of all, be patient with yourself. Be patient with your journey. Your journey won't look like the next person's, and regardless of how much you want it to, it's not. And most of all, you got to be patient and work hard. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Be patient and work hard.
I appreciate it. That's valuable information, and I appreciate the time today.
Yeah, most definitely, man. I appreciate you.
Make sure you guys check out Fear Training. Where can everyone follow you?
Yeah, so if you guys are on Instagram, which majority of you should be, it's simple, @Fear Training. And if you want to follow the gym, @Fear Training LLC. A lot of dope content on there. And if you want to come and get a session in, real simple, shoot me a DM at any of those profiles, or you can find me here in San Leandro, just like that.
Nice. We'll see you on the other side. This is the Misguided Podcast, where we intend to guide you to a better future. All right,
y'all. That was the spot. I really appreciate y'all for coming in on this tour. Hey, again, this is Fear Training. So if you're looking to get right, you can find me here in San Leandro. For now, peace.